right. That's right. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta. Holding it down. Bring that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today we are lounging with my girl Marqueeda LaStar.
Hey, what's up, fam? How y'all doing? What's going on with you? What's good? What's good?
Yo, it has been a long. It seems like tons of stuff has happened since we last spoke. So, what do you want to start off with first? Because
man,
I don't even know what's oldest, but
I'm trying
it's
to
been
figure
a ton.
out. Okay. I feel like the Vice thing is actually,
all right. Cool.
No, Terry Crews is his oldest in the Morehouse.
So, you want to do Terry Crews first?
Yeah, Terry Crews.
All right, cool. So, for guys that don't know yet, of course, Terry Crews had been kind of like touch fondle at a party. He, brought legal action against the guy. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the guy's last name.
The story actually pretty quiet until the Me Too thing happened. So this is why this is the oldest story of what we got.
Yeah.
And so it's actually nothing new as far as what's going on with Terry Crews and him being one of the lone male voices coming out during the Me Too hashtag movement that happened earlier this year. The thing that did happen in the 2 weeks that since we guys spoke to you is 50 Cent, Russell Simmons, and among a few other not so very cool celebrities coming out and mocking Terry Crews,
which was weird.
It was weird. It's like and I liked it how people called out men's rights groups. These are the guys where women are talking about, what it is to be raped or, sexual assault or some type of oppression. They go, men too! And they always show up to our conversations. It happens all the time. And I'm sorry to say, black men too are very much included in those circles.
Sadly.
And that's when you're like, all right, I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
What up, King? What up, King Hebrew? What up, Sarah?
I'm always like, nobody's saying it doesn't happen to dudes. But why aren't y'all talking to this without it being disruptive to other people speaking? Like, if you're not countering somebody, if you're not using it to kind of silence me and what I'm saying about my own situation, it's just like when white people show up and try to tell you, oh, well, that happens too. We get pulled over by the police too. Well, why aren't y'all talking about it? Other than when we're talking about it. The only time you seem to remember, and the only time you feel triggered is when I'm out here marching in the streets about my rights.
Thank you.
And white lives are under threat and it's under peril so much. Why aren't your asses...
White lives are under threat?
Yeah. Why aren't your asses marching? Where your rally at? I don't see any. I'm looking, but I don't see nothing.
They did say they were being replaced by Jewish people in Charlottesville. I don't know if they're getting replaced.
I mean, I'm just saying, my thing is, if you have this pressing, whatever you're talking about, I don't care if it's a religion, gender, your orientation, the color of your skin, whatever it is, if it is such a pressing matter, don't wait until somebody speaks and then try to bury out what they're talking about with your struggle. We're not having some kind of oppression Olympics or something like that. You let me know about your rally. Make sure you bring your ass to my rally and support my rally. And I'll be there. But I can't speak for you just like you can't speak for me. We can't speak to each other's truth, to each other's experience. We might have overlap. But there has to be mutual understanding, support, and you need to do your own shit. Because I've literally heard that on Twitter where people, I'm not gonna name the particular groups because it's all kinds of different groups. There's non-black, there's non-black people of color who do this. Where they're like, well, what about us? Are you guys gonna talk about us too? Like, why would you want me to do that?
Well, also, let me jump on this and then get back to Terry Crews because some foul stuff happened. But every time black people do something, we gotta share.
And we gotta do it for everybody.
Whenever other groups do stuff, they gotta share. You'll never see, and people gonna get mad, but look through history. You'll never see the Russians like, yo man, we fight for this. Yo, black people, come on. Or you'll never see Asian people fighting for something. And it could be Vietnamese, it could be Korean, it could be Chinese. Anyone, they don't be fighting for something like, hey, black people, come on, we gonna fight, we gonna put you in our boat too. No, but whenever black people fighting for something, it's like we gotta share. we got to do it for everybody. We gotta bust that sweat and tears for everybody else. When they, it's like, where our invitation? Right. They got lost in the mail.
Apparently so. And I'm not even saying that you have to do that. You know, you could support us at your own rallies. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, don't put the burden on us. Don't make that expectation. Some people have literally said that to me. You know, I've definitely been the coordinator, community manager of big groups, and had that thrown at me. I'm like, when did it become our responsibility? Yeah,
when did it become the black delegation?
Right, that's gonna be Captain Save a Hope for anybody and anybody. You know, we're gonna be some hero for hire if anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, to get back on this tip is that I wanted to get into, because why I brought that up is because I feel like it underlines what a lot of these supposed groups say they're about and what they're actually about. It's just like when the I forgot what they call the gun association. NRA never shows up to a black person who has a legal weapon. And he's legally carrying a weapon. And he gets shot by the police. You never hear an NRA come out for you to say, "Hey,
they ain't coming.
Hey, that black man,
look, don't hold your breath.
Every right. Second Amendment." Never hear that, but that's supposedly why they're going so crazy about these, like, even the slightest bans. They're going off the deep end. Men's groups, these men groups, which peddle a lot of foul hate against women. It's like, it's real foul. They're like, but we're only doing this to protect ourselves and female commit. I love this hashtag. It's like females commit sex crimes too.
Well, I mean, yes, they do.
They do, but it's just a deterrent to say, like, almost suggest that, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, they do, but I feel like the way it's being used is to kind of be like, almost in a way where it's like yours doesn't matter because women commit this crime as well.
Right, that's exactly that's exactly the problem. It's not like they don't. It's just, again, you're only shouting it to kind of like silence me and what I'm trying to say. If you scream loud enough, you'll just drown out my voice. Yeah. And I was like, where are you to defend Terry Crews and say, see it happened? And also it was another guy.
Yo, and they jumped on Terry Crews because there's a large, of course, double standard. See, since then we've seen the email from Russell Simmons where it's like, yo, let it slide, man, let it slide. And then, of course, 50 Cent just making fun of him.
Right.
And so you do have this weird double standard where, since it happened to you, you were supposed to either have beat this guy up or let it ride. And
especially since, I mean, how long have we been talking about, you know, black men catching cases?
Thank you.
Like, you a big black dude. Yeah. And the idea that you're supposed to go in there. If he would have hit him, beat him up, slammed him, whatever,
the first thing, it wouldn't have been like, you know, Terry Crews was sexually assaulted, so this was his response. The whole story would have been like, crazed actor Terry Crews attacks agent or something. Like, that would have been the story. The story would have been like, wild actor flies off the hinge. Right. And you know what I'm saying? Because you know how they do us.
And I was like, so look at Terry Crews. He actually handled it
the way, honestly, he handled it the way men tell women they should have handled it.
Right.
When it happened, he reported it. He went to court and did, I don't know, lawyers and stuff, all that stuff. Exactly. I don't know the proceedings, but you know, did that stuff.
And then that's where the other double standard comes in, where women are supposed to take you to court and do all that stuff, because I also feel like guys feel some kind of way should you know, women catch you, you know, slipping, you know, you hurt me, I'm gonna let you sleep and then take you out of here. I mean, let's be real. Like, you know, most women ain't gonna get in a fist fight with you because you know, physically they can't. Yeah. And me not being as strong as you doesn't make me any less your equal. Yeah. You know,
it's not about muscular strength.
I can recognize that we are physically different. Nobody's saying that women and men aren't physically different when they say they're equal. They're equivalent. Just like
their value.
Their value is equal. Yeah. And everybody always wants to play a game. Well, you know, we're different. We were made for different things. nobody's talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
Stop acting stupid and brand new. Nobody's talking about that. Just like when white people's approach to equality is to whitewash everything. No, I want my culture. I want all this melanin to be of value. It has an equal value to whatever you're peddling. You know, that's the idea. But anyway, so they're up there saying, well, as a man, you should have dealt with it. You should hit him. Yeah. Even though we know, as we already say, that's not the way to go about it. Yeah. And so if he had did this, I'm like, whatever. That could have happened to 50, you.
The funny thing is 50 was saying all this stuff, right?
Right. On Twitter.
And on Instagram. But all that stuff got deleted after he put a hashtag power after one of them joints. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was putting like hashtag this, hashtag that after all of his stuff. And then he put hashtag power behind one of them. And then all of a sudden, all of them got deleted somehow.
Oh, why he messing with his money? He was already messing with his money, but that was like
here's my thinking. A publicist or stars probably called down there and said, look, this Me Too stuff is hot. Whether you're a man or a woman, get it on. We're premiering on Sunday. Means Sunday that just passed. We're premiering on Sunday. What are you doing?
That is so true.
Because you don't want.
Because that happened like literally the week of. Yep. Like, my God.
Do you want every question to any of your actors to be like, hi, I'm glad you're on this show. You're having a good job. What do you think about the creator of your show not backing Me Too? And then they'd be like, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's
Forget
bad.
50 Cent. I mean, not if he's not gonna sign my check. I mean, that shouldn't matter. I mean, do I really have to continue this interview?
Yeah.
Like,
you don't want them questions.
You don't want those questions. And I would totally be the one to bring that question to him. Like, so how much of an asshole is 50 Cent?
People probably started reaching out for comment, and they said, shut it down.
Yep. I don't know what that guy was thinking, but I thought that was mad disrespectful.
50, and like when I saw it, I was like, this is what 50 does. Like 50, Mayweather does this type of stuff.
He's like a troll.
Yeah.
He's like the worst kind of troll. He can't give you he can't give you no club bangers anymore, but he gonna troll you for life. Like, that dude.
I'm gonna say this. He is a perfect example of the Rick James skit where he said they should have never gave him money. They should have never gave 50 Cent money, yo. He should have never gave him money. He should have just stayed Curtis. He just stayed broke Curtis on the street. He been fine.
Like, cause he thinks it's all funny and games, and I know that 50 Cent has a humor, sense of humor, and I like that about him. But I was like,
but this is one of those situations where it's like this
is not okay.
Yeah, especially when it got to the point where when he was in the interview, I guess deposition or whatever in front of Congress, where he was where he said that the producer of Expendables, the next one, called him and said, you need to drop the case or you're out of the movie. Mm-hmm. And she was like, are you going to be in the next movie? He said, no. So that's why you have to go to court, because this type of stuff is not like a situation like kind of on the street where we're on the same level. This is continuing the power structure.
Another thing about why this makes you such a shitty person, 50 Cent. Not that you're going to watch this, but I'm going to just talk to you.
50 watches this all the time.
All the time, actually.
All the time.
And we so gangsta, we like you trash, my guy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you should be ashamed of yourself.
It's pure, like clean it up, Because nobody seems to believe, and it's so sad because this actually falls into a trope where you go, well, nobody believes you until a man says something, and even then that dude gets dragged.
Yeah,
I thought that was crazy.
It's the weird when it comes to sexual like sexual harassment or rape or anything, all the roles are reversed. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe that's just how it is, and maybe we just gotta live with it, or maybe
we gotta live with any of this shit. I'm gonna say it right now. I was
just saying maybe we can start to change these things.
Like kick rocks and eat shit. As far as I'm concerned, that goes for you too. Shit, it's like 50. Like I thought that was mad. Like seeing what this guy, because it's important, because this is exactly what the public was telling all of Bill Cosby's victims.
True.
Well, why didn't you say anything? Your career and money can't be that important.
Yeah.
Now you get to see this guy
doing exactly what you said.
Do what you said, and seeing what it's costing him, seeing the public opinion.
Yeah.
50 Cent, Russell, all these other celebrities, and all these other producers just abandoning him.
Or being like, yo, just let it go.
Just let it go. So how are these women who are in a less, like, and imagine if he had been, this is a few years back before Terry Crews was Terry Crews.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even be hearing about all this.
Nah, because it would have been somebody who was shamed or kind of like
he pretty much been blacklisted. And he would be famous enough where he would be at a Congress hearing.
Yeah.
And you would never hear about him.
Good point.
And he would disappear. Like all the other women who disappear. You think it's a lot of women coming out. Imagine all the ones that haven't.
Yeah, because
all the men that haven't.
The ones that didn't have leverage because, and then of course,
they just get rid of them.
Yeah, because
they just get rid of them.
They're just like, oh, well, you're not famous. You're, you're in like 2 commercials, so we can silence you easily.
We can silence you, blacklist you. You'll never work in this town again. And if Terry Crews wasn't famous enough to have a Congress hearing, we wouldn't be hearing about him either. So y'all don't. I think a lot of people who are these naysayers, 50 Cent, all of them, they just don't understand what people are putting on the line. And it's bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger than what he didn't have to. He could have beat that guy's ass and maybe he could have beat the rap. Maybe he would have got over it. People probably would have still liked him. They was like, hey, he did grab him though. And that probably would have actually been easier for him to beat his ass.
Yeah, because it would have been like the more masculine
thing to do. Even if I gotta go to court, I might even suffer a little jail time. I get out. They might have hired him quicker than they'll hire him now. But he's exposing what's going on in Hollywood. Yeah. Again, we said this in
because now he'll be seen as like a problem,
right? Exactly. And we said this before. If you're feeling like Me Too is everywhere, it's because it's prevalent. It's everywhere. It's in the ethos. It's built up for so long.
And it's been commonplace for so long,
right?
That now it seems like it's everywhere, and it's like you
can't get away from it.
It's been everywhere. Unfortunately, we're just noticing it because nobody's kind of kicked up the dirt before. So it's sad. I hope that this opens up the doors to kind of for men being easier on men that come out, and for society allowing men to say a little bit more, but then also understanding how hard it is for women by seeing what happened to this man when he followed all the rules that men say women should follow. If that makes sense.
Exactly. All the things that society dictates to us that should have happened, especially he did. And he's still getting dragged. He's still getting shit on. I'm going to say it right now. I live in the hood family. So if the elote man is coming up on your speakers, it is what it is.
You hear them sounds?
We actually going to take a quick pause, go get some corn.
We're going to run get some tacos real quick. We'll be right back.
No, but 100, I just feel like
Russell's wrong.
Everybody's
50 wrong. And Russell extra wrong for saying, like, because Russell didn't go out in public. Yeah. Russell did some behind the back stuff.
A lot of people did.
Well, yeah.
The producer,
true.
That's Terry Crews telling the story, but that producer did that behind. A lot of people who are going to forsake Terry Crews, and they're not going to make it public because they're not trying to be caught up in Me Too. But a funny thing to slide into this with is actually
Sarah said the White Lives tried to rally, but it was Nazis though.
right, for real though.
What up, Mark? What up?
Did you see the new video? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting Quincy Jones' daughter.
I can't.
It starts with an R, right?
Nah, I did peep Shaka's new joint though. Shaka Khan got a new joint. It's a groovy joint.
It's connected to what we're talking about. It's a Time's Up video, PSA.
Oh, where?
And my goodness, I usually know her name, and I'm drawing a strong.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name, but
she's
go
such
ahead.
a great filmmaker. She does a lot of filmmaking. I hate to even bring up her dad. I feel it feels disrespectful, but I cannot remember this woman's name right now. But her and Donald Glover.
All right.
Donald Glover is actually narrating the video, and it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek parody of,
okay,
now sexual harassment is bad. So now what will you do? And so it's got this like old-fashioned like 50s style cartoon.
Wow.
And it's really funny. It's being narrated by Donald Glover. It's really hilarious.
He's
like trying to be all monotone about it, but like it's a pretty funny situation. He's like, but I like giving hugs. And it's like, well, okay, no. It's really funny.
It's hilarious.
I can't, but like check that out. I thought it was pretty funny. It's from Times Up. Speaking of Childish Gambino, though, he got himself in a little trouble. That looks like
just a little, but it wasn't.
It's a blurb. Because I even noticed, like, I Googled it today because I was almost on the fence on whether we should even bring it back up because it looks like it's been died down and went away.
Yeah, and like some people were saying like, yo, This Is America was stolen. He ripped it off from another artist, but that artist has since come out and been like, nah, man, this is just another take on the same discussion. So it seems to be cool.
I have problems with guys because a lot of people are praising, I believe his name is Jace. And so the song, This Is America by Childish Gambino, and then there's the song American Pharaoh by Jace.
Okay.
And I've listened to the songs. Did you listen to both of the songs?
No, I haven't heard them. I
listened to them, and like the way people were hyping it up, I thought I was going to hear identical songs. I did not hear identical songs. I heard somebody might have got a similar drum kit. That's what I heard and stuff like that.
Well, in the music industry, stealing drums is a huge... All the way back from Jermaine Dupri used to steal drums. I don't
think you can steal drums, though, if you buy, like, the same drum kit.
Well, true.
I was like, at this point, especially with trap music and
it's a very similar tempo.
It's almost like a standard. I was reading to some music people actually do music, and it's funny how all the people who I have a master's in music, I have a BA in music, I've been doing music for 20 years. These songs are not because of this reason, that reason, and like all the lay people like myself. Oh, not like myself, but there was a lot of lay people who were like, no, these songs sound exactly alike. I was like, well, they sound alike in the way that two trap songs sound alike. Yeah, and that's how I felt like, I felt like it was some mad reach with some of them. But I think the biggest problem for most people is that they both were talking. They actually weren't talking about the same thing. The video for This Is America is talking about the same thing.
Oh,
when people really think about it, these are all the same people who are like, I don't get the video. I was like, nah, you got the video because that's why you think the songs are about the same thing. If you look at the lyrics for This Is America and look at the lyrics for American Pharaoh, they're not alike.
But if you look at the video, and then you look at the lyrics, it's like the same thing.
It's the same thing. I was like, I peeped that a little late in the game, but after I already argued all I wanted to argue about it, I'm over it now and stuff like that. But there was a lot of issues with how quickly, based on so this boiled over from Reddit. When it's like, where is this coming from? It boiled over from Reddit, and then like an internet troll got the perfect timing. If it wasn't for Jamie Foxx being like somebody's grandma and dragging down a on stage at BET, both him and Michael B. Jordan. This probably would have even popped off on Twitter like it did for the short amount of time that it did. And so he posted it, the video, the SoundCloud, and said they sounded alike and stuff like that.
You saw Uncle Drew. What up, Cooley High? What up, Max? What up? You know what I'm saying? It's good to see everybody. Word up, what up? Oh, also, guys, just so you know, since you're here, thank you for watching. We are here every other Tuesday. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, or you can hit the thumbs down. But since I am now monetized, don't forget, brother got that super chat option in there. Just letting y'all know that super chat option is there. You know what I'm saying? We like the kind of money that jingles, but we rather the kind that folds.
I need you.
Go ahead.
Okay. New Jack City. You done, Wesley? You done?
I'm done. I'm finished.
You good? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, Nino. Okay.
Oh,
he about
man.
to sprinkle some crack on it.
Sprinkle some crack on the side.
Sprinkle some crack on it. That's hilarious.
Oh man, cops really be doing that though. Like, that's a trip. Like cops really be doing that.
But yeah, so anyway, it spills over from there, and from there it goes from like all these people, and it's not even a lot of people. I think for like
a small kind of
Twitter hive.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a whole bunch of people tweeting about it. It was
just enough.
Enough people just to get people to like
yeah.
yes, because Donald Glover's name was trending, and I even saw it, and I didn't even pay attention to it. I was like,
oh, Donald Glover probably just doing something.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. And I went on about my business, but by the next day, I was like, it was inescapable. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, see, I was about to listen to the songs, but then I saw the statement from the other guy saying like, nah, the songs aren't the same. It's a similar discussion, but it's not the same. And I was like, oh, okay, handle.
Yeah.
I was just like,
that's the biggest thing is that Jace didn't start this, but why I am unimpressed with his response, because I feel like he didn't bring this up, and he probably still to this day doesn't believe Childish Gambino bit off of him, but does it work for him? Does it bring a lot of traffic to the yard? I'm sorry. I got to put that doubt on there, because everybody in their grandma's like, he's such a good guy. He's so cool. Like, but if you really press somebody, if you were to press me and you're like, you know what, I'm not sure if that's the case. I don't think that's the case. But if I were to push, you'd be like, let me get these receipts. Let me get these receipts. Yeah. You don't want nobody to get you the receipts, because then it's done. Even without him pushing it and no receipts.
He's gotten a lot more.
He's gotten a lot more. And
buzz.
Then he got a lot of people.
Probably sold a couple CDs from this man. Got a couple iTunes money.
And he got a few people who are like, nah, that's not even better. And I'm like,
so now
he's got the haters on his side.
He'll mess around and get a feature or two after this.
Exactly.
So
he got all the Childish Gambino haters.
Good for him.
It's real good for him
because then even Donald Glover might look at him and be like, hey, maybe on the next album. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Being nice.
You gotta play it.
He was being nice about it.
He chested.
But he really hardcore chested. So everybody's like all mad, impressed with him. But I was like, I ain't gonna throw no dirt, because I don't think that dude. I don't know if that dude heard the song or not.
He was just Lando. I'm gonna play these cards. Right. Real quick, Cooley High in the chat, he saw Uncle Drew. I do want to see that movie because I loved it ever since it was a skit, and you just gotta get buckets, Gotta get buckets. Just get buckets. But what we got next?
So there was that, and then I don't know how this would fall into anybody else. I guess we could keep it to the BET Awards and talk about Damian Dash and Lee Daniels, since that's where it happened.
That's where it happened?
It didn't happen at the awards. It happened at the BET Experience. And so that's where it was taken. So he pretty much used the place where they both be at to catch up with him, because it looked like Lee Daniels been doing some defense on him.
Lee Daniels been like, Lee Daniels hit you with a spin move. He been hitting that X, triangle, X, circle. Oh man, it's a trip. When I saw the video, I was just like, I was reading, I was like, right. I've seen dudes fight for $5.
Right. $2 million?
$2 million? That lets you know. That lets you know how good Dame is.
Right.
Dame must be real good. Dame must have way more money than we think, because he been chilling on $2 million.
Well, every time you look at his net worth, it says negative.
Yeah, that's weird. But we got to remember where he came from, though.
Right.
He got that that mattress.
He doing like the Birdman where they carry so much cash around in the mattress. Yeah, he got that bank.
Dame got that mattress money.
But the update to this was, I don't know if you heard it. It was oddly enough, it wasn't on a big. Okay, let me not say that. It was on a radio show here in LA. They might not know this. Yeah. Despite the video.
All the radio personalities watch the show.
So big ups to you. And we got mad respect for all y'all.
Yeah, you know
but I believe it was K-Day, and they played a clip of Lee Daniels responding to the video. And in the response to the video, he makes it way worse for himself. He makes it sound like he is a dirtbag. So he agrees.
That he owes the $2 million.
He owes $2 million.
Okay.
So
so at least we're all on the same page.
He plays Dash up. He says, Dash, after I won my American, the Oscar, after he won his Oscar, nobody would finance him. Even with Oscar, and every black Oscar winner is going to tell you a similar story where either they could not get the roles they wanted, they thought they should have access. What an Oscar means for most white people means better roles, better money,
because you get to
charge more. The opportunity is just everybody wants you in their film, and they'll give you whatever you want.
But it's almost a curse to black actors.
But for black actors, it's like you just hit a glass ceiling, and no, you're not breaking through it.
Yeah,
you're not that.
Be happy we gave you this.
Exactly.
And go sit down.
And so after that, it's like, oh well, you've peaked, and so nobody would give him money. And he's like, but Dash gave him money.
Oh.
Dame gave him money. And so, so yes, he gave me the money. I appreciate him. He should get his money. All this. And so it's not their clip, so they're just playing the clip for us. They didn't say where they got the clip for.
Which they should have, but
they should have. They totally should have.
You gotta credit your clips.
I'm pretty sure it was like on a different radio station. That might just have a little bit more influence and push. Just a little bit. We love you, Romeo.
Just a wee spot.
Just a wee bit. Taking audio, not crediting it. But hey, we got mad love you. But anyway, it made Lee Daniels sound like a trash person.
Wow.
Because he's pretty much like nobody would give me money. Wow. But Dame gave me money, but I'm not paying him.
Wow.
He didn't say he wasn't going to pay him back, but he made, how somebody's like praising you for letting me, like, if you like, I'm like, Mike is awesome. He lent me $5 when I couldn't get $5, but nobody else. He deserves that $5. We definitely gonna have a conversation about that $5.
We're gonna have a meeting.
Exactly.
Have a meeting.
But he had no point said, you know what? I'm gonna give his money, and you know what? Interest on that too, because if it was a bank, bruh.
Yo,
that'd be pretty expensive.
That $2 million would be about $5 million.
Exactly.
And I know $2 million is a lot when you're in the film or music industry, because since you're not making money unless you're in production, so it's kind of like construction.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, Dame has grown up a lot.
Dame has grown up a lot.
Yeah, Dame. I remember Dame in. Remember the what was the movie based on the Rock Nation tour, not the Rock Nation tour, the Rockefeller tour with Method Man and Redman had DMX and stuff, and there was some shots with Dame in there, and Dame was rough. Dame was a little rougher than he was with Lee Daniels, so he's mellowed out a little bit, which is good.
Well, it's good because you can't keep playing that game forever. I mean, no matter how hard you are, no matter how gangster you think you are, even when it comes to the more organized gangs, it'll catch up to you if you're not smart. Yeah. And so he's trying, it looks like his best to get the money he was promised, but don't come on radio talking about what awesome guy he was and lend you money when nobody else would, but you ain't
because
no dates on when you're gonna be returning them funds.
Yeah, and it's a trick because you gotta see, $2 million is a lot. The old Dame would have folded.
Yeah, he would have.
What up, Alan? What's up? Yo.
We were all folding somebody for far less money. Let's be real about it now.
Yo.
You don't have to be
$2 million.
You don't have to be Dame Dash to fold somebody for a lot less than $2 million.
Yo, for $2 million, I'll find Lee Daniels right now and kick him in the chest. Straight up. Like, oh man, yo. Oh, also, since we got a lot of viewers, make sure to hit that thumbs up, all that good stuff. And if you're on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, make sure to share this link so other people can watch it too. Conversate with y'all.
Don't deny your friends. And all this goodness, man.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Don't be them people that like got an artist they be listening to, and they be like, yo, I love this artist. And then when they blow up, be like, I like the way he was just mild. You know what I'm saying? Like, look.
Don't be selfish like that.
Yeah, go and share this.
We gonna love you still.
Yeah,
we promise you. We never gonna change. We're gonna do a better job about not changing than Drake.
Yeah,
we're gonna do much better.
And we ain't gonna hide the world from you neither.
Exactly.
We ain't gonna hide you from the world or the world from you.
We gonna protect you from the world.
Yeah,
but you gonna experience the world.
You gonna see the world.
The world gonna see you.
Yep.
They gonna wish they was you.
That's right. So I'm just taking you from the.
Well, you know what? You know what? I mean, we making jokes.
Yo, Drake.
But if that is what he's doing,
Drake be lying.
Drake could be lying. He could be. But I'm gonna be real honest. It's no different than anybody else with their kids. You can't even get your picture.
It's not that you don't know that they don't have kids. It's like, yeah, I have
For
kids.
a long time, nobody knew. What's his face? Childish Gambino didn't have kids. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true.
He kept his kids and we know he wasn't being it came out later. He isn't being a deadbeat dad. He just didn't want nobody to know about his kids.
Well,
I was like, so all those aside, if that's why he's doing that,
let the kid come home though.
Let respect. Look,
Pusha.
Look, Pusha. Look, we don't know how
I ain't never gonna forget how great that was, man. Yo, let your child come home.
Let your child come home.
Why didn't you bring the boy home?
The Black Panther.
You are all wrong.
You are all wrong. He should have came home with us. Drake used to be dope, but about his son. Now he's coping, please.
Oh, now he copping, please.
Copping, please.
I mean, Drake, he gonna be alright. Drake gonna be alright. You know, he gonna be okay. He'll weather this storm. By the new year, we'll be done forgot about this by the new year. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, kind of sort of forget he had a baby. I mean, like I said, the video for Upset makes me forget all the terrible things. Yeah, because you're like, man,
remember how much we like Degrassi?
Yeah. I mean, he pulled the Degrassi card. I didn't think he would ever pull a Degrassi card.
Oh, he needed that.
He needed that card.
He was like, look, I know how to get everybody happy.
Lee Daniels, give Damien Dash his money back. Because he also watches the show, and so does Dash.
Thank you.
You know, we're on Dash's side about this.
Dash, you good. Lee, just at least give him installments, man. Give him a couple thousand here,
Our audience is on fleek.
Yeah, we got all the radio people, all the radio personalities in LA watch. Pusha T watches, Drake watches, Dame Dash watches this show, and also Lee Daniels. So we good.
Somebody Cooley High said it took Pusha T for him to talk about his son, but I think that's the point. He didn't want to talk about his son.
He wanted to protect the world.
Exactly.
Protect his son from the world.
But he's joking, but in all seriousness, a lot of people, you can't ask Beyonce or Jay about their kids.
Nah, you can't.
You can't.
But you know they have kids.
You know they have kids.
It is
I think it'd be hard for them because they're just so poppin'. And they're a married couple. You know, I think everybody with girlfriend situations looks like it's easier for them to keep the kid kind of out of sight and stuff. But there's a lot of people you're not going to be able to go to and talk about kids. Like, just people, again, like Donald Glover's the easiest because he's hot right now. You can't ask him about his family. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
He won't talk about them.
Yeah, you know.
If he hiding them, he doesn't want that to be a part of the conversation. And people have tried.
Oh,
I was reading an interview and people brought that up and he's like, nah. And they're like, go on the side. He's got mad loyal people. And he's like, oh, I don't talk about his personal life. I'm like, for real? You can't give us a little? I was like, I wanted to know. So I could, of course, I come back and tell y'all, you know, I'm not here investigating.
Because we know Donald Glover watches this show. That's what I'm saying. That's why we tell y'all to share the link so y'all can be in the chat with Donald Glover.
Exactly.
At this time. Right now.
See, if only y'all would share that link.
Yep.
Hey,
see?
You gotta help us help you, okay?
But you know who else watches the show?
Who?
Permit Patty.
Permit Patty. Now, don't be calling us for no permits. This is perfectly legal, okay? Permit patty.
Yo, man. What made the permit patty story so great is when she ducked down behind the thing. That's what made it great. Oh my
goodness. It was like, what are you doing?
I wouldn't have cared, but she ducked.
She ducked down.
She said, swing it.
And she was literally, she was having the most awesome time doing it. And then it was like night and day. A few days later, she's on Good Morning like, San Francisco. I don't know the name of the show. I've had threats.
All these people.
I didn't really call the police. Why would you threaten? And see, this is a perfect case of white people.
Who is she on the phone with then?
But white people know what they be doing. They know how we feel about the police. They know why we feel that way about the police. Why would you even call like that?
Yeah.
Why would you even play that you call like that? Why are you terrorizing an 8-year-old girl?
Yeah, it's like, why are you going to bother an 8-year-old? Don't you? This is my thing. I feel like white people really have a lot more time on their hands.
Real far.
Who did?
Of Briscoe. Really? I was like, where is that from?
Briscoe County.
I know I've heard that before.
Yo, that's hilarious. Yo, man. Majestic, what up? But I feel like they just have tons.
Dame is about to get his $2 million with interest. We said a little bit earlier. Yes.
Yeah, he about to get that money.
He about to get that money for sure.
But I feel like they just have tons of time on their hands. Cause if someone was outside making noise right now, I'd be like, I don't know, they're doing something. Now they just went back to what I was doing.
I mean,
unless they were like
my apartment,
explosions or something,
shit talking and shit like
yo, you might hit the blinds on them. You might be like,
I was like,
what y'all doing out there?
Exactly.
But you ain't gonna go out
there and
unless you're an old black man. Then you gonna go out there.
Old black woman.
Tell them to quiet down.
They don't discriminate. They come out there and y'all ain't your business and
what y'all doing out here?
And dare you to do something.
Because it's like when you get old, you can just tell kids what to do when you're old. Like once you get old.
You're like, I'm grown, old lady. I don't care how old you think you is. When I was,
like, yo, but I'm like 25. You're like, yo, I'm 30.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm 40. They don't care.
They don't care. They gonna tell you all about yourself and then some.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah, Permanent Patty was out there giving us real white tear performance up on the morning show, talking about what everybody coming at her for.
After she ducked down.
That was before, however, ironically or sadly or whatever you want to call it, it was actually before she actually lost her business.
Oh, so this is before she lost it.
But she was just getting death threats, and she had her first round of people like telling her like this is bad for business.
Oh, and then they told her she needed to.
And then afterwards, all this barrage of people saying we're pulling, they canceled their orders with her. Then the craziest thing that Permit Patty had the audacity to cause a permit on somebody when she was doing something that's in between the lines.
Yeah.
She sells weed, by the way, if you didn't know.
She sells weed
she don't
to animals.
Sell weed to animals, which right now is in a big limbo state. It's actually a no-no.
Yeah.
Like, so even though we're in California and it's legal to do that, she's in San Francisco.
Because animals can't consent, man.
Well, I don't know if that's
At least
why,
I don't think.
but it's more, I think, that has to do with testing. So it's not covering. So her product is actually in some pretty murky waters itself. Yes. And so it's more
legally
about
murky and morally murky.
Exactly. It's a don't ask, don't tell situation, which is pretty much what this little girl situation was. Yeah, but you didn't see yourself in her as the entrepreneur that you are.
A kid selling some lemonade on the street.
It's the entrepreneuring spirit.
Yeah,
I'm going on.
You don't need no permit.
I'm out here. Technically you're not supposed to sell anything without permit.
But I mean, still.
It's a technicality that could be applied to what she's doing.
Yeah.
That's where the hypocrisy is most strong.
Yeah.
It's you've been in the weed game. It just became legal in November here. Yep. So
what up, Hassan? What up, Majestic?
And animals weren't covered by the medical marijuana.
Nope.
So my
question is this: Where's PETA at? Where's PETA at? Peter always want to jump out. Where Peter at? Where Peter? Protection of environment and animals or whatever, you know.
Oh, Peter! Where Peter at?
Where that?
Peter tripping. You don't want Peter.
Where Peter at?
I don't think nobody.
They need to be taken down permit.
I'm not even sure if I want to wish Peter on nobody, because Peter mad cray.
Yeah, like, Peter is.
They don't make no sense. You know, they fight all these scientists and reasonable, logical people like in the 80s.
All right, cool. You're right. I'll reel that in.
I was like. They got crazy people. I ain't trying to.
We gonna come back. I
don't want to be responsible for nothing because people crazy. They do real crazy stuff. They be killing animals because they saving the animals. Did you hear about that? So it was like, like I think up in the North Carolina, they're taking people's horses or something like that, killing the horses. They be doing wild stuff.
Yeah, all right, I'll reel that in. Peter, stay where you at.
Exactly.
Don't do nothing.
They do such wild. I am not a Peter fan. Yeah, I don't care if y'all come for me.
Don't look just. Peter,
I ain't about to smoke.
Oh man, but
let's speaking of like white people doing crazy stuff and making a whole bunch of excuses for themselves.
What?
So what's up with this Morehouse? Because he put me on to this. I watch Vice Media, but somehow, some way, this documentary about Morehouse slipped by.
It just came up on my home screen for YouTube, and. Vice did a documentary on a white student that was going to Morehouse. And for those that don't know, Morehouse is a historically black college or university, which is HBCU. It is based in Atlanta. Atlanta has 3 or 4 schools. I think it's 3. It's Clark, Spelman, and Morehouse. So Morehouse is an all-boys school. Well, I guess not all-men's school. And there's a white student there, so they went and did a... Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm just used to like boys' school, but you know.
Real quick. Yeah. Max Evans is like, I'm calling the police on all my neighbors tomorrow for barbecues without permits.
Yo,
that should be like, it should be like national. It's the 4th of July. It should be national. Like black people call police on white people day.
That should be mad.
Don't do it, but don't do it from a phone that you can be traced from. Because you know you're gonna get in trouble. Don't even play.
Be like, go to a payphone and be like, look, I like to call on 555 Canyon Road. White people doing a barbecue. I don't think they got a permit. Bye.
Now you can't mention they white because they won't come.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be like, these people are out here barbecuing without a permit. Now you didn't say what people.
Yeah, but you said these
people. When you have to use the loaded language. Yeah. You know, a very smart brother had an article about that, about all the ways white people say black or something like racist,
like urban, gangster, thug.
You know, those like, people, they, all that. It was hilarious. But
Alan got that burner phone, boy.
Right.
But so they do this documentary on a white student that's going to Morehouse.
Right.
And the kind of feeling of the documentary is, should a white student be going to Morehouse? And of course, there are diversity students for black colleges. So there are white students or like Asian students or whatever that go to like, say, Howard or Hampton University or something like that. But they were saying in this case, you know, should this be something that should be normalized or should this be something that's commonplace? Mm-hmm. And because this student isn't only going to this school, but he's become president of his dorm or his house.
Dormitory.
Of his dorm. And he's also the one that does the tours for the school, which means that he's essentially sort of become the face of the school, the representative of the school. And that
he's a representative.
Yeah.
He's an ambassador.
Yeah.
There you go. Ambassador for school.
And even when they show people, coming to the orientation, and he was running the orientation.
Oh, I remember they asked they question like, so is there more of you?
Because it's like this is kind of weird,
right?
Because I'm sending my black son here to be in a place where he can be free. And they literally
ask him like, how many white students are there? Because it's not what you think when you're trying to do it. And they break it down to why. You know, historical, and again, that key word is historical. Black colleges and universities exist. Mm-hmm. They existed because we were not allowed to go to white people's shit at all. And should they make an exception for you, they were going to give you hell. So even if you got into the white school, say they made an exception, they're going to give you hell. Are you going to get as far? Are you going to get an education? Yeah. Maybe. But you're going to get a lot of trauma and emotional scars to go with it. So,
is it worth that?
You
to
have
go?
HBCUs. The entire campuses are at least safe spaces from that kind of racial prejudice and injustice and harassment. And let's be real, like there's a lot of other stuff going on in our lives, but if we could kick just the prejudice and harassment we deal with
if you could take 4 years of your life and say, I could stay in these walls and just be me.
Right.
You know, I could just be black.
And you still gotta deal with like human dynamics and bullshit.
Well, yeah, because you still have
it levels you
class
out.
systems.
Exactly. It levels you out where you're dealing with stuff like most other people were. Man, we got mad comments.
Yeah. So it's like
okay, everybody calling out. Calling out. So we got Central State University graduate in the house. Morehouse in the building.
All right, cool.
Yes, we did hear about affirmative action being kind of checked by Trump's administration. Nobody's surprised that's happening. At this point, if you guys are surprised that's happening, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what y'all about.
That's a fight that isn't over, though. That's a fight that's not over.
Do they have white professors? I'm not sure. So because they pride themselves on being one of the places that hire the most black ones. So I don't think they might. I'm not saying they absolutely have 100%, but it's kind of like this white student. There's only a few. I think he was the only white student, and then they had a few other students from other ethnicities. Like they had an Indian student and stuff like that. So if there are if there is a white professor, they're like in the 1, maybe 2.
Yeah,
that's
like
the
1,
number.
2 of them or something.
Exactly, because the idea is you're getting taught by people who've walked in your shoes.
Yes.
You know, and so they're going to ask more of you, but they're never going to ask more of you than you can handle because they've walked in your shoes. This is the first place you go to see a professor, teacher, instructor who looks like you. So that's whole part of the selling point. So I don't know if they have any, but I can't imagine they have many if they do.
So, question to you guys, because I brought this up because I wanted to know from you guys in the chat, should white students be allowed to go to HBCUs?
Yeah.
Or if they are, should their numbers be capped? Kind of like you have a salary cap for sports or whatever. Like you can only spend this much. Like, so white students can come, but white students can never exceed 2% of the
this is a good
conversation.
We're not being petty because it was brought up in the same documentary. While how some HBCUs you wouldn't even recognize them. So there's one in Kentucky,
and there's one I didn't know West Virginia University.
West Virginia University. You wouldn't even know that the historical
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Because now they're like mostly white.
Yeah. So it can happen.
It's like a hipster gentrification thing, but of HBCUs, which is absolutely like...
It's almost disgusting.
It is, because when you think why that institution was established, just to have it taken over by white people... It's scary. That's a bit much. That place was literally established because the black people who established it could not go
anywhere. And if they tried to, they were pushed away forcefully.
Hurt, possibly hurt. You could be killed. Like if you challenge the status quo. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
You could very much hang from a tree if you were challenging the status quo to keep all the rest of you inwards in line. Yes. So let's not be coy. So the idea that you've like completely taken over this place and this campus from people is horrible. It's rough.
So so should they be capped at a certain level? Like, since this is an HBCU, Asian students may not exceed 2% of the, or 1%, or white students may not exceed 1% of the, population or whatever, because the idea is that this is supposed to be a place for black people.
A safe place so they can have learning without stress. Because there's lots of studies coming out now showing how stressful racism is. It's shaving years off of our lives. It's complicating our health situation.
Okay.
Alan Lewis brings up one of the points that were actually brought up in the documentary about the universities being expensive. And this is something I've talked about with just black
business
in general. We always seem to have that black tax because, and this is not in part that because a lot of black organizations are greedy. You know, they're not more greedy than others. That's why they cost so much. Yeah. It's because usually a lack of support from other places. So we don't have the large endowments. We can't seem to get those grants and that government funding. And even then, private schools still get government funding.
And then also remember that our graduates, since they have to go back into the real world, our graduates aren't earning the same amount on pace with their white counterparts.
Right.
See, I feel like that sounds
sounds good that non-black students be capped at a percentage. Well, that's not what's happening. We're just
I'm just saying, should that?
Yeah. But they are looking into it for finances. That's why they're turning. They're actually the students at HBCUs, well, particularly Morehouse. Non-black students are referred to as non-traditional students.
Oh, yes.
And so they're turning to non-traditional students
because they need money.
They need money. They're not getting their enrollment like they used to. And let's be frank, not a lot of black people can afford private colleges, which the majority of HBCUs are.
Because they couldn't be public at the time because they were never accepted and funded.
Not like again, state schools are not like, say, Western schools. Most of the HBCUs are in the South on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Those school systems run so different from West Coast schools.
Yeah.
The amount of expense is ridiculous. Just to go to community college over there is really expensive. So it's a huge barrier for us.
Yeah, and so it's like one part where we're not, another question I guess I'll pose to you guys is, do you think that we as, black men and women are promoting, or maybe promoting is not the right word, but kind of like exposing our children and our, nieces, nephews, whatever, to HBCUs like we should? Because, like traditional media is not, when you look at media, you'll see, I guess like USC, Duke, Syracuse, LSU, Berkeley. Like kind of like the bigger schools, like the Berkeley, like the D1 schools, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, that's definitely a blight for a girl like me who's born and raised in California.
Because you might not have ever heard of.
Well, yeah, I definitely.
But you've never been pushed to.
Yeah, I wasn't pushed to. Well, that until I turned 17, and then we did the family trip down south, and then I got walked through at least 3 different schools down there, and I was I don't know, son. Like, I'm different.
Now I will say that with Marqueeda, my mother went to Norfolk State University, historically black college, Norfolk State and Hampton University in Virginia. So I was thinking when I was coming up, I was thinking, I want to go to Norfolk State. My mom went. I want to go to Norfolk State. But Norfolk State at the time, and I graduated high school in the year 2000. So I'm thinking, I'm going to go to Norfolk State. At the time, Norfolk State was real hardcore trappy, real like, very kind of like no limit cash money, kind of like those kind of cats. And I just don't fit in there. And I walked the campus and I was just like, I do not fit in this joint. Now, I could have checked out other HBCUs, which I didn't. But I guess once I saw that, I just assumed, well, if you're from Virginia, Norfolk is like the kind of like the real black school. Then you got Hampton, which is like, everybody go to Hampton is light skinned. I'm going to just say it. Look, it's how it's known. Yeah. And then you have BSU, which VSU is like hood. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you got like your regular black people and Norfolk. You got your hood.
It's like hood.
Hood. So it's like, I didn't want to go to BSU, and I knew I was way too dark to be going to Hampton. So I kind of just
see. That's why I don't like that whole like I'm too dark to go to Hampton.
Yeah. But at the time, that's what I was feeling.
It's so funny because when I had to make the decision to go to a school, I wasn't too comfortable because I was like, how well am I going to get along? Because I was definitely going through that like. People calling you an Oreo because you like anime.
You like anime
you're a nerd. nerd.
Yeah.
I like punk music. I was really heavy into punk music right now. To come to find out that we made punk music, that's a whole other conversation. And so I was always
There's nothing musically in America that's cool that we didn't make.
Right, exactly. Like if I'm listening to a turn of music and it came somewhere from America, even though punk came in a circle, it actually came from the islands through UK to America, but still diaspora.
Still us.
So still us. And so I was like, so that's my thing. So I wasn't 100% sure if going to a HBCU was like asking for more pain, because living in the hood, I'm from South Central LA. It was a fight. My wife says our schools aren't managed well enough. People have choices now, and we aren't making ourselves as competitive as should be. I totally agree with that.
All right. Now, do you think these are problems that are kind of linked? Like we can't be competitive because we don't have the enrollment, therefore we don't have the money. Do you think it's one of those things, or do you think that we're just not competitive outside of the money issue? Because they did bring up the money issue in the Vice article.
They did bring up the Vice video. But do you think
that's outside?
I don't think it's outside. Like I totally understand what he's talking about. Yeah. Unfortunately, you look at organizations, what they call PWIs, which are primary white institutions. Yeah. And you have
like any of those D1 schools.
Exactly. You have your Howards and your Dukes. They've been, Howard's been here as long as the country. Harvard has been here as long as the country has, and they've been able to maintain their endowment. So sometimes, and this was in a different documentary I saw that actually had a black filmmaker, where the funds are not handled well, nor is the recruitment for enrollment handled well, nor are there financial solutions being offered to the students.
Okay.
So it is mismanagement of funds, lack of vision sometimes, and not really willing to be rolling up your sleeves of how we're going to save the school, how we're going to bring the school into the next era.
Right, the next
exactly. Like how we're going to get our enrollment up and keep it up and keep people talking about how many schools do you visit. I have people visiting my high school from different states, but they were PWI.
Oh, okay.
I think we might have had maybe one black, unless it's a black job.
And then at the same time, they probably don't have the money to do all the travel.
It's travel.
Because I remember, since I'm from Virginia, but a lot of my examples are going to be like VCU, VSU, maybe George Washington University, or GWU and all them. But VCU had money to go out and send people to like Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Hampton ain't had no money to be sending people to Seattle to get recruits, black recruits.
But I also feel like it's a priority thing. Is it a little bit of that? Yes, there is a lack of funding, but there are also priority thing. This is something you have to do every year.
True.
If you have to fundraise, so be it. Shake down your alumni. I get stuff from my alma mater all the time. I might break out some dollars if I have it, and a lot of times I don't.
A lot of times you don't.
Exactly. But that's the thing. Shake them down. Make sure you're getting donations. And I don't feel like that happens a lot. I mean, like I said, my school reaches out to me, but it's not one of those big fancy schools.
Yeah.
So they don't do it too often. They really don't. And I feel like, are you doing that? Are you doing your fundraising?
Are you doing your fundraising?
Your
kind of like doing the parties, the dinners, the car washes.
We need galas. We don't need car washes.
But they always, because they always have all of these events going on. Like you'll have car washes, dinners, galas.
You get big donations from big people, and you need to put yourself on the map. You need to network. You need to get yourself in the room. So I feel like you could access some of this. It's also network, because this comes from Atlanta.
True.
Remember, it's like, well, when Ern asks the guy about the
lawyer.
The lawyer.
Do you think a black lawyer is as good as your lawyer?
And he's like, he could be, he just doesn't have the connections.
Yeah, because he's black.
Exactly. And I think that maybe
all of this kind of like plays into it when you have mismanagement, then you have the lack of access, then you don't have the network, then you don't, then your students, of course, aren't making money on pace with their white counterparts because America. Yeah, America. So all of this comes into play. So all of this comes into play with you not making the money you're supposed to make, which means that you have to let in white students to try to make up that margin.
Right. I mean, I just feel like there might be a solution if we're really willing to look deeper into it. Like, I don't know how hard they're going about trying to pack in, because I mean, Harvard got ridiculous endowments. So do the rest of all these other Ivy League schools. Even schools here in California that aren't Ivy League, they got some crazy endowments.
Like I found out Denzel sent his son to Morehouse, and I never knew that.
Right.
And I'm like, that's something that we should
know about. That,
you know what I'm saying? Because like,
you need to hype up the school, because your alumni.
If black kids say 14, 15 knew that Denzel sent his son, they'd be like, oh snap! I know Denzel. I see him on TV, movies and stuff. Morehouse must be cool.
This is how
and then it at least
the
becomes an option.
PWIs build up their reputation. They brag continuously
they
about
do.
Who their alumni
White people stay bragging about their college.
I went to college with so and so graduated from my college. Wasn't in your class.
Always be singing their school song.
Before you, 10, 20 years after you, but they went to your school.
And
you got all the school prize, so that's pretty important. That's pretty important.
Oh man,
Wakanda could be exclusive, so can HBCUs. Let's start with the basic.
Okay. All right, I see you, Matt.
But at the end of the movie, they started opening up. So,
but they opened up with them in control. I think that's where I think we can be.
I think like, HBCUs
we can let some people in, but be in control.
Yeah, definitely. Because. Did he say he wanted to go to a HBCU? Who did? The white student?
The white student?
The white student!
Yeah, he said he felt more comfortable there.
He had the Eminem story. And the Eminem story is like, grow up in the hood around a whole bunch of black kids. So I feel more home with black kids than I do white kids. Like, they don't even realize how unoriginal, like, their origin story is.
Like, it's funny because, and I can't remember, it wasn't Brandon. You might know. It wasn't Brandon Easton didn't say this. Maybe it was Jamal Igo. I can't remember who said. Somebody said every neighborhood has that one white family that can't move out. And I can't remember. Was it Joe Illich? Did he say it? But somebody said every neighborhood has that one white family that can't move out,
right?
And they just become like in my family. It was this young kid named Tommy. He was scrawny, he was bony.
You had told me about this because I told you about the old girl who lived in my neighborhood.
Yeah, there's always that one family, and of course her name is tarnished now. But every neighborhood has that one like Roseanne family,
right?
Where it's like. They look, y'all pouring white, y'all just pour as weird. So like, you ain't got nowhere to go. So guess what? We friends now. Because we go to school together. We see each other every day. We in every class together.
He's like, I don't want to go anywhere else because these are my people. This is what I've become used to. And you're like,
the Eminem story though. I love it.
It really is though. It's the Eminem story.
It's cliche, but it actually happens.
And
so
it happens, and he's in there. And so when people... I said, but then this is my thing, like, not to get too personal, but I am technically a part of a group that I don't really talk about because I love and care for that culture, because I know I'm only technically in the group. And so when they ask him at the end of the documentary, like, by you being here, do you think, that hurts, knowing why it's here, knowing why most black people come here, do you think you really need to be here? Like, like they put it like you took somebody's spot.
Oh yeah, and I know. Go on and finish because I want to talk about that part.
Yeah, exactly. You took somebody's spot to be here for you to feel like around this, but there's somebody out there who needs.
That needs to be.
You're great, and what about that person? And he really was just lost at words because you could almost see him squirming like, but I want to be here.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, son, but
and he made a statement to the extent of, I have to, I earned being here.
Right.
I know this might sound bad, but my statement is, it's not in this particular situation. It's not about earning it. There are kids that need this foundation, that need this atmosphere.
They don't have the option of going other
because
places.
They're at the very beginning of manhood or womanhood with Spellman, because I think that's all women. I think Clark is co-ed. I'm not sure, But they're at the very beginning of manhood. This is a very important time, especially for Black men. It's weird, and it's going to sound mean, but you can't earn it. This isn't something to be earned. It's something that is. There's a part where
in the same way he feels he earns it, so does Rachel feel like she earned her spot.
Yo, Rachel Dolezal, boy.
I'm just gonna put it out there, like
Rachel.
if you think you earned your spot, and you think girl.
The funny thing about Rachel Dolezal is, there was a Black woman working there, and for the whole time had been like, something ain't right about her.
No, they said it. And okay, so I finally, for the family, for the culture, I watched the documentary, and now there was a lot of them that.
Oh, word. Peace out, Hassan. See y'all next time. See you next time. You know what I'm saying? I know it's late in some places. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because we got international viewers.
Yeah.
We're international.
Our view pool, our audience. We mad love to y'all. It's a crazy mix of
worldwide.
People. Worldwide,
yo.
We got intergalactic people up in here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We got Mace Windu's family, descendants watching. You know what I'm saying? We got Lando descendants. There ain't but 2 Black people in the galaxy.
But
once you get outside of Earth, there ain't but 2 Black people. You got one. What is Jimmy Smits? You got one Hispanic brother.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Card and Star Wars. All you got. We're gonna have to go on some other sci-fi.
But it's one of those things where I feel like this isn't for you to earn. This is something that Black men or Black women at the beginning of adulthood need. They need this time to experience being themselves without also combating society.
Like we saw right through Rachel Dolezal's fake braids and spray tan.
Yo, Dolezal had that spray tan, boy. Yo, woo! She did. It's funny because when you see like some pictures of her, she looked like a light-skinned frizzy. Now, I'm going to say this because it's a term that I picked up that I thought was funny from a friend of mine in VA. Light-skinned frizzy is an example or a term to kind of encapsulate all of the light-skinned women that Hollywood seems to find. All right, they have the very loose curls. Very loose curls. They're never tight curls. They're never like 4Z hair. It's always like very loose curls and kind of falling curls. It's the kind that like white Hollywood enjoys. You know what I'm saying? So, Dolezal look just like one of them. And I was like, well, is she like me? And then when I saw her parents, I was like, she need to go to jail for this. All right, this is heresy. All right?
When I saw the original picture of her, I was like, girl.
Cause see, dude, I know there was a sister at the office like, something ain't right about her. Something ain't right.
I'm not saying, please don't go watch the documentary. I don't even think
it's on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet.
I tried. I don't think I made it all the way through.
Because you were just like, I can't stand her.
It got
dumb. She got dumb on you.
Yeah, it was rough. Like,
wow.
You feel bad for because she has a son. Mm-hmm. And I even feel at times bad for her because her life is straight up like hard now.
Yeah.
However,
she been exposed.
Right. I just do not think she needed to lie about being Black.
And like old girl went straight undercover. Didn't she go to Howard or something? She went hardcore.
Exactly and stuff. And so, it's kind of like that person who claims again, like my ultimate point about her and this guy is that ultimately what they want us to feel is that they're allied with us. They're so enamored by our culture, by us, because even when they're talking about all the different stuff that people are saying.
Alan Fowle, son.
What are you talking about?
He said Twitter was tossing Rachel's fake lace front braids.
Oh, dang. You ain't right. You ain't right. Yeah, you ain't right. That's disrespectful. You don't gotta come in here and all that. But anyway, that's what I was trying to say is that they do something very white in the way that they want to approach allyship. How much they love us. And even though we tell them like we don't want you to do this thing,
Yeah.
If you're trying to help me,
this is not what I want you to do.
This is not helping me. You're not showing me your ally by doing this. And so, because that was the guy's, I can't remember this guy's name from the documentary of my life. But because he kept saying, I feel so at home. There's such great hospitality. What I love about Black people in the community is the hospitality, the welcoming, the. I'm like, all right, if somebody was cool with me, and that means that's people catering to you.
Yeah, because that's another thing.
When you get old and tired, and you got I don't know how your questioning goes, or how your conversations go. That's somebody exhausting themselves to make you feel at home.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you.
The fact that he ran and became president of his dorm, I feel like.
Well, he was saying that, they're like, no, you should do it. And I'm like.
They did that because they feel they have to make you comfortable. Because now you are essentially a minority in their space, so they feel that they have to make concessions for you, which then puts them back in the situation they are in regular society, where they are placating to a white person, which is just
so if you really love white people, Black people as much as you say you do, you would let them live and be, and let them live their best lives. Like not having to cater to you and stuff and make you feel good about being in a place that you knew what it was like when you got there. And nobody's guaranteed nobody's sweating you. I'm not saying nobody should harass you. Yeah. But I'm also saying that they should not have to be going after a way to cater to you.
Yeah. So you should definitely not be representing the school.
Exactly. These warm, fuzzy feelings. Oh, I don't have anything negative to say. You know all this, how people feel about you being there. And you're like, oh, well, somebody else who really needs your spot can have it. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that
really
Vice,
blocking all that out.
Vice was very intentional to not show the students that didn't want him there. They showed all the students that were on the fence. They showed students that didn't want him there. But remember when he said, somebody said there are students that really don't want him there. Not the ones that were kind of on the fence, nah, I don't think he should be here but students that are because they did show that one professor that said, oh, if you're gonna come up here and talk about this, we ain't talking about this. And there's one person.
When she said that though, it wasn't like that. It was
she was just like, I ain't having this conversation.
She was not gonna have see, you getting ahead of yourself.
Really?
What she was talking because what she was talking about was he brought up the idea, and this is not something that the student brought up.
Oh, no, not the student brought up.
He was bringing up reverse racism.
Yeah, I was talking about Vice in this case.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, because it sounds like you're like that professor was pushing against that student.
No.
And what happened is that, they were doing the whole devil's advocate thing. Yeah. You don't understand how the world works, so we gotta play devil's advocate. Yeah. And the idea was well, if you don't want him here or you don't think he should be there, isn't this a reverse racism thing? And I'm so proud of her.
She shut that down.
She shut that all the way down. She's like, there's no such thing. Because
she shut that down. I'm glad.
It's a system. Racism is a system thing. Yeah. I cannot oppress white people. White people can oppress me. There's enough of them. They're in the right places. But I cannot oppress white people in any systematic way. And so if you want to talk about reverse racism, I don't want to talk about that. And that's what she was shutting down. Yeah, so
that's what I meant. I meant Vice in this case, not the book.
Exactly. Yeah,
or not the man.
She wasn't attacking the student. She was attacking the idea of this reverse racism because
that interviewer that was there was a couple times with that interview I was just but I know he's paid to ask those questions.
He was.
You know what I'm saying?
I felt like he was doing his due diligence because at the end of the day, Vice has a very white audience. Yeah. And they would have wanted to hear those answers to those questions. Yeah. Which I'm glad, because I love when people actually ask the reverse racism question and the person gives the correct answer. Yeah. Which is no. There's no such thing as reverse racism, because racism is more than I don't like your skin color or I don't like your nose.
That's called prejudice.
That's prejudice. Everybody can be prejudiced.
Yes.
Everybody can be racist.
Prejudge someone.
But racism is a system that supports white supremacy.
Yes.
Where my shit is better. No, you can't have excuse me, you can't have this shit. And not only that, I have the juice to stop you from getting that stuff.
Whenever you want.
Yeah, whenever you want.
I mean, whenever
you
I want.
You gonna have to fight me. You people gonna have to die for it. When you gotta do all that just to have the same shit they got, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check it out. There's some good conversation to have about it.
They said bias, definitely some bias editing.
Yeah. Now, what else we got? Do we have?
Well, no, that was. I mean, we can mention.
I know we got.
Scar.
Because I wanted to end on her.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure we got everybody out the way.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll let you lead. Tell them about Scarlett, because Scarlett just happened today. Or I'll tell them. All right, so Black Widow decided I'm an actress. I can do all kinds of things. I've been white. Mm-hmm. I've been a woman. I've been Asian and a woman. So where is the next place that I need to go as an actress? I need to be a transgender man. And Twitter wasn't too happy about it.
I don't think she thinks these things out. I feel like you're giving her too much credit.
Okay.
I feel like
she's just like, roll, cool, money.
Roll money, and I think at this point she's trying to go from like, oh, I am Scarlett Johansson, and I make pretty dope movies, and I make lots of moolah doing movies, but you notice she's not in the top elite.
People don't see her as an actress.
She's not an artist.
She can't act. Her acting range is like this, B. Alright? Look.
Yo. So she's trying to get around that by saying, well, if I can get somebody to give me a statue.
Take some deep roles.
You don't forget. And so that's what she's on. She's on an Oscar kick.
Yeah.
She's trying to level up. She wants to be.
She tried to do Under the Skin. That was whack.
I didn't even see that one.
I saw clips of it and I was just like, nah. I saw the trailer and 2 clips and I was just like, I'm a chill.
Yeah, okay. And so that's what it is. I think all of Twitter was like, this is an Oscar ploy right here because unfortunately, these stories tend to at least get you an Oscar nod and it puts you in a very strong running for actually winning. And
people know biopics are always good. Something about slavery is always good. Something where you're changing for the role, meaning like Charlize Theron, if you go from being pretty to being ugly, or if you go from skinny to being fat, or you go from fat to being bony.
That was a good movie though.
Oh yeah. Monster was good.
That was a good movie,
but I'm just saying those are the type of things. These are the type of things that the Academy likes.
Change your appearance and give us like whack ass.
No, I'm just saying like these are the things that the Academy likes.
Right.
What else?
So what's
historical stuff like time period
crawling
pieces.
Inside a bear carcass.
Yeah,
Leo.
Yeah. You know,
we were just afraid that dude was gonna snuff himself out for the next role, so they really need to give that dude an Oscar. I keep saying it. I'm glad we saved a life. Oscar Academy.
Just one. Or in this case, one of the things changing yourself is if you're a man being a woman, or a woman being a man, or being gay like Eddie Redmayne, or being he was
the last Scarlett film I saw was Lucy, and that was I
Lucy,
like the premise of Lucy, but
that Joe was trash. Yo, Lucy was so all right. Let me tell you about at the end of Lucy. I'm sitting there. It's me and my wife, and there's another couple in front of us, 2 ladies. They're chilling, we're chilling, and the credits roll and the lights come on. We're still sitting there. We looked at each other. All 4 of us said, "What did we just watch?" We literally said it like almost on cue.
So the drug. Okay, so I like the idea. I like the end of it. I just don't like how they got there. It's funny.
It was just bad.
It's so funny, like, because this is my problem with it. So you're telling me that they took something out of the placenta, right?
Yep.
That all babies we all come here with.
Everybody got it.
Everybody got it, and they just like,
put it in a pill or something.
Put it in a pill. They compounded. They condensed it.
Put it in a beaker or something. Swished it around.
And they gave you a ton of it. Just buried you in this stuff. Because they buried a pack in her. She just had so much.
Now she's super duper smart.
Super duper smart. And she
turned into a USB A USB drive.
USB godlike being, because she's supposed to be a godlike being.
I was like,
it's very apparent she's supposed to be divine.
Yeah, but I was just like,
I was like, yeah. So I
was like, this is dumb.
I kind of liked. I was like, if we could have gotten to the end with any other storyline, I'd be good. I
can't remember who said it, but he said as she gets smarter, the movie gets dumber. I can't remember who said that. Some reviewer said it. And had me dying because it's true. Like you watch the movie and you're like, this is getting dumber the whole way. Like everything we do is getting dumb.
I can't. Why did she get kidnapped again? And they were going to put.
I don't know why it had to be her.
I feel like it always.
They didn't even explain that. It was just
I had so many questions. But my mom was really feeling it, so I was like, all right.
Yo, they rode that popularity from Avengers on that joint.
Right, real
got
hard.
Some money. Because people were like, oh, well, Lucy made money. And it's like, yeah, because it was front loaded. How was that second weekend though? How was it?
Lewis was like, she turned into a CPU. I was done.
Right? Yo, man, we literally, the lights came on.
Lucy was super trash.
I was like, yo, what are we watching? I was like, and they got Morgan Freeman in this joint? Like,
I can't even remember that dude. What was he doing?
They was just like, we need a smart black brother. Oh man,
that was like the most thrown together trash, and they couldn't come up with any better source.
Yo, it was like Limitless, but it was whacker.
It was though.
It was Limitless, but whacker.
I wanted to be greater because I liked the way it looked.
On a sneak, Limitless, the TV show was kind of high. It's on Netflix.
Limitless, at least the movie made sense.
Yeah.
If the drug isn't in you because that's some BS.
Like, why ain't everybody sweet?
All right. I was just like, okay, but I get, and then they like give you a whole bunch of it, but still, and they never figured out to do this before. Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
And then they just happened to put a whole pack in her, and it ruptured.
It was bad.
And like,
it was bad.
Instead of killing her, I'm okay.
Yeah. But back to the transgender joint.
Okay.
She's playing a transgender man or transgender woman. No, transgender man.
I think all my brain cells were going poop, poop, poop.
Yeah. So in this movie, it's a movie called Rub and Tug. She's playing a transgender man.
Can we just have a moment to like marinate in that name though? This Rub and Tug name.
If I was going to make a movie about the transgender community and I'm not part of them, one thing I would not do to be respectful is name the movie Rub and Tug.
I mean, okay, I think maybe the problem is we don't know who this individual is.
Well, true.
And maybe that was their personality. That was the thing.
Oh,
true. I was like, it might be a tongue-in-cheek title.
Cool,
for someone
because
who
that
lives
person
a very raunchy life.
Okay,
they might be outspoken about their sexuality.
Yeah.
So okay, I just still.
So I'll let that go. I'll let that go.
The name, the Rug and Tug. Oh my god! But I thought it was the Rub. It's funny. Okay?
It's funny.
It's real funny. And
but so, people came out. They weren't happy.
They weren't happy about her playing because they're like, it's representation. It matters. Why aren't trans men actors who need these roles? When we haven't gotten to the point that you're going to just put them in roles for men, even though some of them are quite passable. You wouldn't know, but that's the thing. You have to be passable, and sometimes for trans individuals, that's not important to them. For them to pass. Passing should not be, I guess, important for you. But for a role, it is.
Yeah, for a role, it is.
And so it's like a clash of like who you is and what you about.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. This is a perfect opportunity where you don't have to be a super passable trans to be in a role.
Yeah, because you're already known.
It's just a trans role, so just be you. So I don't know. And I didn't know there were problems with like Boys Don't Cry. I was like trying to get a feel of what the issue was about it. But neither one of us are trans, but it's an issue that is definitely interesting.
But her
response was probably the most dirtiest part, though. Is that okay? You're taking this role from somebody else. It'd be a great opportunity if you gave it to a trans person. But then she wants to show you that she's trash. And when somebody tells you they're trash, believe them.
You gotta believe them.
Don't ask for receipts because that's exactly what she came for. So she lists off like 3 other actors who have done like trans
gay roles or trans roles or something like that.
And so it was Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Jeremy. What's his name?
Jeremy somebody.
He was in Transparent. He played an older trans male
what is his name? I can't remember his name.
Jeremy's the first name, and I was not familiar with the last person she mentioned. Jared Leto was in the Dallas
Buyers Club.
Buyers Club.
Yeah.
And I think he plays a trans woman with AIDS. And
so she said instead of asking my person for a comment, ask their representative. So it was kind of like
I was like, I don't know.
I see where she's coming from to a certain degree. Like, hey, where was this? Where was this energy? Where was this energy when they was doing it? But right now we ain't talking about them. We talking about
people that live in the hood.
Yeah, it's fireworks. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we're not ducking cover. It's not like we real gangster. It's just fireworks.
So it's like it's and then like Cooley High, just like you said, this is her second infraction.
Yeah.
See, she was an Asian woman. Earlier. You know what I'm saying? Now Jeffrey Tambor. Thank you, Max. Thank you. This is her second infraction, taking a role that would have been better suited to someone else.
Right.
And it's not like she gonna bring something special to the role. She ain't got. The girl couldn't act her way. Look, she is Black Widow. That's all she got.
You got hot fire for these acting skills.
Because this is her acting. She has a smirk. She'll do a smirk after she says something kind of cheeky, and that's it. Besides that, she's pretty and she beats people up. That's it. That's all she got. And she ain't even really believable when she beating people up. Straight up, I put Michelle Rodriguez in the same movie and she'd be like mad iller than Scarlett Johansson. But look, she's Black Widow, and that's why she gets to shine.
Ooh, and a lot of people ghost sheet.
Yo, check it. I'm gonna take it a step further. All these women out here talking about they want a Black Widow movie. No, you don't. I'm gonna tell you why. Not because Marvel can't make a good movie. Not because Black Widow ain't a good character. She's been great in the comics. Because Scarlet ain't great. Scarlet's great because she's a spice on the dish of Avengers. But if the whole movie was Scarlet, that joint would be trash.
Hey, did you see the Black Widow knockoff?
Oh yeah, Red Sparrow. And guess what? That's by an actress that I still don't like, but I think is better than Scarlett Johansson. And that was trash. Jennifer Lawrence is straight past her prime and trash. Whoa! Yeah, I said it. Yo. She had a couple of roles where she was good. So she had a couple of roles where she was good, and then people started thinking she was Meryl Streep Jr. And they all wrong.
She better hope Thanos don't take her out in the next Avengers.
Thanos will carry up to the
somebody
up
said
to the mountain.
Black Widow movie might just be like Catwoman. Ooh,
snap.
No, that's bad. We love us some Halle Berry, but that was bad.
Halle, I love you, Halle, but dang, Catwoman was rough.
So bad. And they hyped it up so bad. I remember when it came out, and it
was such a big deal.
It was such a big deal. They had all the stories. I think Eartha Kitt was still alive.
Yeah.
She was hosting a pre-game show to it. And just all this.
The villain was wrong. They went over
the history of the role and the mystique. Just for it to be a mad trash movie. I remember watching it.
The origin was whack. The villain was whack. The everything. And honestly, I know we all blame Halle. The script was trash to begin with. She should have never took it.
I said I love Halle. I don't blame her for it. I just say, girl, this is another showing of what we get after
yeah,
winning
that's
an
true.
Oscar.
She won an Oscar. What they give her?
Catwoman.
And well, Catwoman should have been amazing, but when they give her some whack script,
right.
and that's all she could get, and it's not like she can't act, but all she can get straight up. She should have got an Oscar for losing Isaiah, but I'm gonna let that go because we ain't got enough time for that. But trust me, she should. I can't even remember what won that year, but it wasn't good. It wasn't better than her in losing Isaiah. But that's a whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing. I'm gonna need you to like ease up on this because we need to let these people go.
Yeah. So guys, thank you for hanging with us once again. You know what I'm saying? You found out who's whack, who's cool, and you know who be taking roles and shouldn't even be acting unless they unless they the co-lead. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying she should be. Scarlett Johansson should be way in the background. Like, way.
And you just mask.
Like, she whack, yo. She whack.
So much hate, man.
Yo.
I don't like her either, but dang.
So, guys, before we bounce, Marqueeda LaStar, where can the wonderful people find you?
Everybody can find me anywhere on the internet at LaStar.net.
Word up. And you can find me, NERDSoul. That's right, NERDSoul. Online, search me up, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. No Snapchat, just never used it, man. The app, I just didn't like the interface. I'm sorry. But make sure you hit that thumbs up if you liked it. Hit that thumbs down if you didn't. But make sure that you comment because bottom line is, either way, it's all good.
Oh my gosh, don't tell him that.
Also, don't forget.
He'll be so sad if you do it because then, you know, people will do it because they want to get
I'll be like, oh, snap, look at that. I'll be like, yo, we got mad thumbs downs, yo. So, also, don't forget, a brother is monetized. So if you watch a couple more of my videos, watch some more of them ads, you know what I'm saying, brother, get a penny or two. And don't forget about that super chat because, you know, brother need a little cheesy cheese. But besides that, we love y'all. We thank y'all for rolling through. Of course, don't forget.
I need you to stop.
Just staying real, y'all. Just staying real.